everybody, the Irish Demon here. Sorry I'm not on screen. I'm actually away from the studio, away from home at the moment, but I wanted to bring you this very interesting court case, and I'd absolutely love to hear what you have to say about it. This young individual, I'm not sure whether or not it's somebody who identifies as male or female. I'm not 100% sure. But in any event, they claim that their grandmother has kicked them out of the house because she doesn't agree with this particular individual's way of life, or whatever way you want to put it. But it seems like there's a little bit more to it. It seems like there's been a lot of very aggressive action. You can see the attitude of this person is pretty crappy at times. But definitely let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this whole thing, and we'll catch you in the next one. Slán Siomhá.
Did you guys get a hold of?
Yes, Judge. Jarmanese completed the RIP, and we learned that the complainant lives with the grandmother and the mother lives in a separate residence, but neither of them want contact with the defendant.
What are we supposed to do? I mean, is he right where at 17 he can still be required to live there?
I know, Your Honor, Michael's right that 17 is the age of adult in Texas, so I don't know if by law he's required to live.
Show me that. Where's the authority? I mean, if you can show me that, okay. But, you know, I don't know where to put him.
I understand the age, Judge, but I don't know what else to say other than.
I get it.
And the bigger issue is that an intake prosecutor took the time out of their day to call me, tell me, Mike, you got to talk to Judge about this because he's a danger to these people. They do not want him there. He intends to keep forcing his way there. There needs, in our position is there needs to be some sort of legal protection for the complainant, so they have some sort of recourse. You know, because they call the cops and the cops see his stuff in there. And they're like, okay, well, I can't do anything. You know, at the end of the day, he's an adult. He's indicated.
Show me that. Show me. You're saying that at 17, he's an adult, that he can be out.
Somewhere to go.
But show me where. I mean, where does it say that at 17 he's considered an adult as opposed to 18?
In the state of Texas, Judge. I'm talking about,
Your Honor,
just at least for purposes of the law, what we charge people with. I guess that's what I meant. Is 17 for purposes of charging somebody criminally that's an adult. That's why he's here.
and Your Honor, even further in section 51.02, subsection 2 of the Texas Family Code.
Okay, hold on. That's what I want to see. Okay, section what?
Section 51.02 in the Texas Family Code, and then subsection 2, and it defines what a child is, and it says under 17.
That's what I want. A child means a person who is 10 years of age or older and under 17 years of age.
What are you thinking, Judge?
I don't want to put him on the street. Like I don't want to do that.
He's not on the street. He's indicated to you he's going to stay with his best friend.
Let's see what he tells
homeless.
Mr. Brooker.
Yes, Judge.
I
I understand the concern, but I mean, especially because he's come to you telling you, I got somewhere to go. You know, maybe we could follow up in a week, put him back on the docket, make sure he's not living on the street. I'm sure there's resources the court can provide to get him housing if he really needs it.
Let's see.
Yes, Judge. Yes, Judge.
I can ensure that he's got a place to go.
Yes, Judge.
Judge, are we gonna need to resolve?
Yeah, I want to make sure he's not using any kind of dope or anything. You know? Maybe I should have drug tested him too.
We have some case reviews.
Okay. Shatria, let me just finish this real quick. Stay here.
I'll be right.
Uh-oh. Hi, Roseanne. So you got 5,002 on Young, right? Vic? Okay, I think that's it. Then.
George, was that, did you sign it?
Well, I haven't even gotten to that. Something's wrong with the computer.
Judge, to add a bit further context, Jarmanice, when she spoke to the witness, said that the defendant has a history of violence against the grandmother as well. So he's previously committed these type of assaultive conduct, which is why they don't want contact.
I understand. So on that gentleman, no drugs, no alcohol, random urinalysis, no contact with the complaining witness or the grandmother, no weapons. I'm not going to put it on monitor now, but if he shows me that there's an issue, or if you guys get wind, then we'll do something. You ready to have Mr. Barrett come up and sign the condition? Are you ready? Barrett. He needs to sign these bond conditions. Okay, sure.
I put a motion in there for Mr. Hahn. He was supposed to come to court today and turn himself in to go to DDRP. He didn't show up. Just letting you know. I'm sure you're gonna want a motion for this guy too.
Wait. What did you put in here? I don't
A
see it.
motion. I don't know if they made it ready.
I have an MRP coming your way. Someone was to come and turn themselves in today
239.
for probation and they never did.
Also,
I know.
Please. It's not yet, but it's coming.
Yes, Judge.
And then the next guy, he just picked up a new charge. He's on probation for assault. He just picked up a DWI in Brazos County. The cause number is 248-281.
Crumpholz?
Yes,
Yep, issue the warrant.
that's all I have.
Oh, that's it?
These are the resources we got for clients. It has stuff about housing and employment and jobs and stuff. If you wanted to give it
Yeah.
to the other clients. I can email them like the hyperlinks because there's a lot of them.
Or the one, with that one case, what about the interlocks?
I think we have that. I
Or
know-
reduced maybe, some kind of reduced?
I don't know. I can check with somebody and see, but I know even with the one time we did it for the GPS monitoring, they only do it for 30 days. 'Cause they have to, I guess, get grant funding and it's only so much that goes out. But we could for sure do the virtual report, but I don't think there's anything you can do about the device.
Judge Berhan, how much do you want the bond? It's at 25,000.
25,000?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just leave it at that. Yeah.
Which one's the grandmother? Which one? And the Taylor.
Just put 25. Yeah. Yeah. Why is it supplemental? Why is it supplemental?
story?
So I believe it's Karen Smith.
Yes, I do. I just want to know. Yes.
Mr. Brooker, we need to talk about,
I was just talking to Tristan Smith about it.
ready?
Yes, we are.
Coming up.
I was wondering if we can get Mr. Barrett taken care of, but it's okay.
Oh, well, yeah,
We'll do it all together. It's fine.
can't go back. You know, and I was looking now, because you made the statement that, you know, hey, I'm a child. They can't just put me out. I looked it up. You know,
So I can't
according,
go back?
no,
Why not?
they don't
So,
want you back.
But like, okay, but
There-
like, I'm trying to, like, what I was trying to explain earlier is what the cop told me when she called the same day and told me I had to leave. They told me that since I was still, even though I am 17 and of age, even though since I'm still in school and it's my last year, since I still am in school, I'm still like under their care, so therefore they have to.
Tristan,
Not that I-
just give me one second. So Judge, what I understand is that the complaining witness is the older sister of Tristan Smith, is my understanding. Just for clarity, because I could not get into the actual report, is the grandmother asking my client not to come home?
I'll let you
I
guys.
don't get that.
Yes.
Guys, who did the rip?
Yes, Judge, the grandmother is who the complaining witness lives with, and the complaining witness and the grandmother are asking him not to return to the house.
What they're saying is that he has also allegedly been violent with grandmother as well, and that they are all afraid of him because of prior instances of aggressive conduct. And, you know, when I told you at the outset, all I want to do is honor the wishes of the complaining witnesses. And I wish I had a different answer for you, but I had them specifically go out to try to see if they were okay with you, because a lot of times, you know, time heals wounds, right? People forget, they relent a little bit, they'll be, okay, well, we'll give them another chance. They're just, no.
So I'm trying to figure out, since the protection order, like the one that the judge gave me, since she.
I'm doing a new one now. I'm going to redo one saying that you can't go back there, that you cannot have contact.
So how am I supposed to get to school?
And Judge, may I just I just met my client, but my client is the younger of the two siblings. They do attend the same high school. This is an unworkable scenario for my client, because where does he go after he leaves this courtroom? I don't have an answer for that. So I don't know when the state spoke with grandma. May have been right after the event.
30 minutes ago.
And as of right now, grandma is saying
They
that's
both are saying,
tough. Well, I understand the sister. I get that. Grandmother, I've never talked to her. I haven't had the opportunity to talk to her. But I would ask, firstly, and I believe I know what you're going to say, if we're able to reapproach you on this matter after a short time.
I've never not approached, you know.
That's the first thing, because I have to do some more work on this. I mean, I just got appointed about 30 minutes ago. I need to figure that out because I'm concerned about my client's well-being.
As am I.
Has
I
a
am too.
scholarship offer to Baylor, is a senior in high school, has potential to do well in life. And at 17, clearly not a mature adult at this stage. And so I'm trying to help as much as I can. So that's the first thing. I thank you for allowing me to come back and approach them at some point. And I would just ask if the court would be willing to amend your conditions to make them no threatening and harassing conduct. Admonishing my client as much as you'd like, And if there's any inkling
Let's
of
do this.
disturbance,
Let's do this. What's grandma's phone number?
Can you give me social?
Yes, Your Honor, it's
Hold on.
grandma's phone number. is-
Stop.
Let me write it down.
Yes, please.
Yes. Can I borrow a pen? Thank you. Eight.
What's grandma's name?
Karen.
Karen? Is this Miss Karen? Hello? Oh, they hung up.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
I wonder if they think it's you calling.
Goodbye.
well, they may say Harris County judge, and that could be scary to some folk. And Judge, I believe you know what I was going to ask. I mean, a no threatening or harassing admonishment from you after having advised my client, understanding they cannot mess that opportunity up if it were granted. I think it at least allows us to sleep well at night knowing that my client is home and not homeless. Because I don't know what he would do in the alternative. Just sleep outside, or I don't know.
He says he has a place to stay with his best friend. I know.
High school kids, Judge, and this is a senior year going into, seems like a pretty decent situation, given the opportunities that
How can I let him go back to a house where they don't want him to?
Judge, and even further, the concern is that he's already been admonished by the PC court judge to have no threatening or harassing contact. And he went home and tried to force his way into the house when he was not wanted there. He does not have a right to force his way into that home.
Maybe
does
he
not
didn't
own the
know
home.
at the time that he wasn't wanted.
The grandma informed the intake prosecutor that she told him, she stood in front of the door and she told him, you cannot enter this home. And he forced his way past the grandma, and the grandma had to use force command as well to try to get him out of the house. He is obviously unwanted. I mean, they all want him out of the house.
I get it. We're not allowing him to go back.
Yes, Judge.
Now, Mr. Brooker's asking for is no threatening or harassing as opposed to just no contact.
But for what reason? They don't want contact with him. And justice right now, and to protect the community right now, the state's position, the only correct answer is no contact, and maybe after a cooling off period.
And of course, I would have to hit the red, ready.
Can't see it,
No, it's not that bad.
Has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone.
One more time.
Call has been forwarded to voicemail.
They
The
don't.
person you're trying to
And Judge, thank you for sharing that because I did not know
Yes.
that. All of these facts are fresh to me. However,
Yeah.
I think I understand the situation, having had the opportunity to speak directly with my client. Tristan's grandmother is almost 70 years old, Judge. She is not comfortable with Tristan's appearance, how she presents to the world. My understanding and belief is that this is the undercrux of this whole issue, is that they don't want Tristan around because of how Tristan presents. That's wrong. I mean, how people run their house is how they run their house. But is it a fear that something is going to happen? Or is it because of the way Tristan looks?
Judge, we're
This is-
assuming.
let me just complete my position because I don't have all the facts like you do. This is what I'm getting from the person that lives with her grandmother, his grandmother, that it's always been issues because of, as Tristan said, his sexuality. I don't think that's right. And so we're standing here, Tristan knows the seriousness of this, sees your face, sees everybody here and understands if Tristan is admonished, there's not going to be any issues. Just wants to go back to school, finish out the senior year and go on, maybe accept that scholarship to Baylor or go to another school that's local. It's all Tristan wants to do at this stage. Definitely understands the seriousness of this.
I understand and I get it, but we're still working on that, which is an assumption. I can't let you go back to a house that I know at this point they don't want you back. The only thing I know is that you've asked for no threatening or harassing contact.
So how am I supposed to go to school?
I'll talk to you about the judge's ruling.
These are things that you think about prior to picking up criminal cases, Mr. Smith. When you don't have other resources, you never bite the hand that feeds you. Burn a bridge because you never know when you have to cross that bridge. But the problem is this, according to them, it's not the first instance. And it's that's according to them. And if it was, then I have to think that they perhaps would want you to come back. But after multiple times, and they have a fear, they're afraid of you. That's what they're saying. I wasn't there. I don't know. But if we allow contact, what's going to happen?
Nothing's gonna happen. I didn't even mean, it wasn't even meant for her, my sister to even get. I'm sorry.
But what good? What purpose is there in allowing you to have contact is my point.
So I can go
My-
to school and I can graduate and
Whether you talk to them or not has no difference on whether you're going to go to school.
I understand that, but where I stay, it does. What I do, where I go after this does. That's what really matters. Where I go after this does. If I don't go back home, y'all talk about I can go near her, then what?
And Judge,
I want to honor their wishes. And if
Okay.
they're telling me they don't want you back at the house, who owns the house?
Grandpa and grandma.
That's who's telling me they don't want you back.
And just for clarification, I was going to ask for you to amend the geographic restriction part of the order and include the no threatening or harassing communication, to be clear. I wasn't just asking for no threatening or harassing. I want Tristan to go home so Tristan could go to school and do what Tristan needs to do, but we understand your order and I'll explain it.
You know what's going to happen? I'm going to say, okay, he can go home. He's going to go home. And then they're going to get a call from the grandma saying, why the hell is he back home? Why is he coming here? We don't want him to come here. And then, God forbid, something even worse happen because tempers are flared. He's upset already as it is. If he goes home, it's a recipe for disaster. That's why we have these cooling off motions.
I'm not even upset. I just want to go home. Literally.
I
I
can't.
literally missed school today to come here. I was supposed to be at school today. I missed school to come here. So for the
I will give you a school excuse, but Tristan,
all right.
if they're telling me they don't want you there, I can't do it. Now, look, time heals wounds. So perhaps after a couple days, it'll change.
Mm,
The only thing I'm going to tell you is be nice.
okay.
If they see that your behavior continues in the fashion that it has been, you're never going to go back. Some time has to pass. perhaps after some time, they'll let you back.
I'm just
We
like,
can regroup on Monday if you want.
I'm okay, because it's not gonna tell me right now, they've been trying to get me out the house since I've been 15. You can check how many police calls there've been, how many times the police have been to the house, every single time, it's because they either kick me out or they want me out the house.
So why give them ammunition when
I didn't give them any ammunition. You
you
said I
have
can't
picked
speak-
up an assault case?
You said I can't speak about my case, so I'm not gonna speak about it. So I can't speak about that. It wasn't intended for me to pick up an assault case. I'm telling you, I can't speak about the case, but everything happened by accident. Nothing that happened was supposed to happen. Nothing that happened was supposed to happen. Her doing what she did was not supposed to happen.
These are not accidents, they're choices. And once you realize that, and when you see that, perhaps changes can be made.
Okay.
These are no accidents.
Okay.
It's not an accident. It's a choice. And it's a choice that is made in the heat of the moment. And there are seldom times in life when you're put into this kind of moment that you have to step back and think to myself, if I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? You now know there are serious consequences. And I'm going to tell you now, with this assault that you have now, it only gets worse.
Right.
You have to have patience. Let's regroup next week. Let's come back. Let's call mom or grandmother on Monday. Perhaps on Monday, she'd be willing to relent to let you come back. I'm happy to talk with grandma. Perhaps you can reach out to her as well.
Certainly,
We can
Judge.
try to, smooth the situation out. Hopefully a couple days is sufficient to get them to calm down a little bit, and we'll go from there.
And here's the other issue, Judge. I also don't want to set the defendant up for failure. If I think you indicated defense that she goes to the same school
Yeah, there's.
as the sister, how do we approach that so that we're not getting a
We have the same
BVR?
classes. We have 2 classes together. So I'm trying to figure out if we can't be in the same class together, why we can't be in the same house together.
We're just now getting there. I didn't know this.
All right. It was all in never mind. I'm sorry.
It's a good question. How do we
We're
do it?
we're all working through it. I didn't know they were in the same class either. I did know that they attended the same school. They're a year apart. This is why we're here talking about this now, Judge. It's a lot.
Okay, so
Can we do like a no contact and no further
You're
harassing at school?
not to have any contact with this person. If you're in the class, same class, okay, don't go near them. Don't have any contact with them. If they try to have contact with you, just turn around and walk the other way.
So I can be in the same class, but not in the same house.
Correct.
Yes.
So we're in the same classroom, but we have 2 different rooms of the house and we can't be in the same house.
Your grandmother does not want you in the house.
Right. So what the officers told me, wasn't true.
I'm telling you now what your bond condition is. If you violate this condition, I'm going to put you in jail. You need to think about this now, because if you get out there, start acting, you have no one that is going to bond you out.
Everybody anyways.
So when you're out there in the free world, Tristan, I want you to think,
Right.
because if you go to jail and I make your bond $5,000, if you don't have anyone to pony up that money, what happens?
I'm just gonna be in jail then.
Right. You think you're going to graduate?
Might not already, so hey. And that's not no disrespect, I'm sorry. It's just something. I worked really hard to get where I am. Like, really, really hard to get this scholarship, to graduate. I worked really, really hard to get where I am. And now to be told that I might not even be able to graduate because
Who said that?
I'm
said
not
that?
gonna be able to graduate. I'm telling you right now, I'm not
Why
gonna be able
not?
to graduate. I don't have nowhere to go. My best friend, that was an if, or that I have to go ask her mom. It's a whole bunch I have to do. Like, where am I? Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out.
I have to consider the safety of the community.
Right.
I understand that it's going to be tough for you,
Mhm.
but actions have consequences. And I really hope that you appreciate what's going to happen. But I want to impress on you now that if you don't have anyone to bond you out, Look at me. If you don't have anyone to bond you out and you go out there and do something you're not supposed to, or violate these conditions, or pick up a new case, it's really, really going to go sideways. You've dug yourself into a very small hole. It's not deep enough that you can crawl out of. But understand, you're skirting thin ice now. It's not the end of the world.
Right.
Time will pass, wounds will heal. But if you go out there and make moves that are not smart, choices that are not smart, you're only digging this hole deeper.
Right.
We can come back on Monday. I will try your grandmother again on Monday. I will talk to them myself.
That's in the notes.
I will allow you to report via Zoom if you want to.
Okay.
You don't have to come to court,
Okay.
okay? But don't take matters into your own hands because it's really going to go south.
Okay.
You understand?
Understand.
He is the best in the business.
Right.
He will help you out for any issues that you need. He can get a hold of me at any time. There's no excuse for you to have contact with these people,
Right.
pick up a new case, or accidentally, oh, but I fell down and I ended up back at my grandma's house. Don't.
Right.
Don't.
So if I'm my stuff up, can I go get my things?
No,
So how much?
you cannot go back there. No means no.
I'll explain the orders also, Judge, and try to work through how we can deal with it pragmatically.
Let's come back Monday. I'll try to call grandma again. I'll try to.
And I'll work on it too, and just talk about how we can work through it.
About any MAC resources you can think about.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about those now. I don't know if it'll happen quickly, but
Need money for anything? We'll give you whatever you need. Okay? Just say the word.
I'll work on that today.
Okay,
Okay.
so that you don't miss school anymore. And let's regroup Monday.
Yes, sir.
Come up, Tristan Smith. Let me express my extreme disappointment with you. You've now picked up a new case. Is it on docket today or no?
It is, Judge. We placed it on after we spoke.
Thank you. Mr. Foster, you now stand charged with the offense of assault. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. For some reason, I don't see it.
Well, Your Honor, it's understood.
Well, Judge.
Tristan Smith, I'm sorry. I called you Foster, I meant Smith.
The new ADI was a 2B, so this is a longer on the new case, the new charge. The previous one, which is the AFM, he has 2 open misdemeanors right now.
Right, so he initially had the open assault of a family member.
Yes. and
As
that's
of
on docket.
December 19th, he's now picked up a new assault.
Yes.
All right, let's do probable cause
On the new assault.
on the new one.
Yes, Judge. On October 29th, 2024, an officer was assigned to investigate an assault that occurred on the 18th of October at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The officer reviewed video footage of the assault that showed the first complainant and the defendant engage each other in a physical fight until another female assisted the defendant by punching the complainant and grabbing the complainant by her hair. The female swung the first complainant to the ground by her hair, causing pieces of her hair to be ripped off while the defendant punched the first complainant multiple times in the face. As the first complainant was on the ground, the defendant stomped once on the back of the first complainant's head, and the officer observed the first complainant with injuries based on photos. The first complainant told officers that on the day of the offense, the defendant told her that he was going to assault her once she exited her vehicle, and a friend of hers that was inside the vehicle recorded the fight. The defendant and the first complainant used to be friends, and the defendant used to live with the first complainant at her residence until the defendant was kicked out.
Judge, if I can, just utilizing the state's information that they provided, and I didn't hear the prosecutor read this part, but at some point, the officer interviewed the complaining witness in the new assault. Based on what she told him is that she had heard that Mr. Smith was going to attack her. And if you just read in the DIMS, she exited her vehicle to engage in a physical fight with Mr. Smith to defend herself from him. When I talked to Tristan about this last week, he told me all about it. He said, I remember this because it is a 2B. He hadn't heard nothing, any follow-up on it. This woman, this young lady got out of her car and attacked him as he was walking down the street. It says it right here. MB exited her vehicle to engage in a physical fight with Mr. Smith to defend herself from him. She's in a car where she could have easily seen him and kept driving. No, she got out of her car and attacked him, exactly like he said. And while he was defending himself against her, another individual, another female, came to assist him in this fight because he was attacked and blindsided. This is exactly what the complaining witness in this case told the police happened, except she said that, well, I heard that he was going to attack me, so I jumped out my car and attacked him first. That's not an assault.
I don't know. All I know is that the facts are pretty egregious. And I mean, he could have taken off, didn't have to sit there and didn't have to engage. He could have, you're on bond for a criminal case. So stop. I'm not asking you to say anything. You, in the correct mindset, I am having open assault. It's probably a pretty good idea for me to go away and not do anything here.
And if he had that time to reflect in that instance, then perhaps he should have done that. But he's walking down the street and this girl jumps out the car to engage him in a physical fight, like she told police that she did, to defend herself from him. He doesn't have time to sit and reflect, oh, I got a case and all.
He could have run away. He could have gone. He could do something else. I don't know.
Being attacked, Judge, I mean, you got to do something.
Look, I get that there's always two sides to the story. But I mean, I'm going to find there's probable cause now.
I understand.
If you develop something later, if you see something on video, if you show something that she's the initial aggressor, come back and we can talk.
She said it. She told the officer.
I don't know that for sure. I mean, it just,
Let's say in self-defense.
Yeah, we have in self-defense, and then we have furthermore that once the female was assisting the defendant, that the defendant continued to assault the complainant, even stopping the complainant on the head.
You got to stop her if she's attacking him.
Judge, she was down on the ground. The complainant was down on the ground and the defendant stomped on her face.
I'm finding that there's probable cause. You picked up a new case.
And we'll deal with that, Judge. But the biggest issue, of course, is the fact that he did pick up a new case, albeit he didn't ask for it. I mean, he's walking down the street. And his situation being one that's extraordinary, one that I haven't seen much this year, dealing with indigent defendants, being of his age, which is a high school student, as we've talked about before, pending graduation with an acceptance to a great school. This is a very tenuous time for him. You've already ordered him to be drug tested before and all of that. So we're working through those things. The last thing that, and I know we have to consider the complainant witness in the community and all of that. I understand that. But I'm advocating for Mr. Smith.
I get it.
Mr. Smith has a final on Monday that he must take. If he does not take this final, and he's again in high school, then he may not graduate. If he doesn't graduate, then we can kiss Baylor goodbye. It's not likely to happen for him in light of all of the challenges that he's dealing with. He doesn't have his mother to help him. His grandmother, we know she's a complaining witness. He can't even go around the house. He doesn't have any help right now. He's living with a friend and walked here from Atascocita this morning, which took him 9 hours. I mean, this situation it's extremely difficult, Judge. So my ask is that we do something, and it could be amend bond conditions, but to keep him on bond so that he can take his test, do what he needs to do to finish school, and hopefully we can resolve these issues. I've looked at the evidence that the state has submitted for the new case. There's clearly something happened, clearly. I mean, and I would see the evidence shows that. But if he's walking down the street and this girl, per her own admission, jumps out her car to engage into a physical altercation with him to defend herself, that doesn't make sense. And that's not really fair to him. Someone that's on bond, and everybody knows he's on bond because she said, I knew him. We used to be friends.
He could have walked or run away, gone to a store, called the police. There were a multitude of other options you could have done. You know what's at stake here, yet you pick up another case where you allegedly stomp on someone's head. And you want me to let you go? I understand that you have school. I don't know that you have a final on Monday. Am I supposed to take your word for it? No. All I know is that you are a danger to my community. You have one assault. You have had violations on bond while you're on that assault, and now you've picked up another assault. You are a danger to my community. And there's only one thing that I need to do, and that's to put you in jail because you refuse to comply with bond conditions. And I've given you over and over. I appreciate your tenacity, and I love that you're defending zealously, but I can't let him go. It would be enabling this behavior and telling him it's okay for you to do what you're doing. And it's not. It's not okay to sit there and stomp on someone's head.
And Judge, we anticipated that possibility. I'd ask in the alternative that you consider a very low bond, as my client has approximately $100 to his name, being a child, in my mind, a person that hasn't even graduated from high school.
State of Texas, what do you think?
Judge, we would be opposed to that. I mean, given the egregiousness of these facts, we believe the defendant is a.
I won't do the normal. What I normally do is I set bonds at 5,001 when you pick up a new case. I'm willing to go down. I'm not going to give them $100 bond because that's what we do on new cases.
I'd ask
And I
for,
think that that's a little,
so we're going to revoke the previous bond, that was a personal
I will
bond.
only touch the old case.
And so or we'd ask it, well, I didn't anticipate that you set a personal bond on the new case. So I guess my request would be two $500 bonds.
Oh.
I mean, we're talking about a misdemeanor assault between children, not a.
Well, I don't know that. I mean, you're
Well, the
putting
state
in
of-
stuff that I have no
The
idea
state
about.
alleged a misdemeanor assault. They didn't allege an aggravated assault, which they could have, and they did not. They alleged a misdemeanor
Doesn't make me
assault.
feel better.
Well, I mean, the state says, alleges that there's all this injury. We can see what the injuries were. You see the complainant witness in the picture. She's smiling.
Did you go
as
to
she's
the
talking
hospital?
the police. No, she didn't go to the hospital, Judge.
I don't know.
I've read everything. She hasn't gone to the hospital. She has a swollen eye is what she has.
Judge, I don't believe, I mean, her hair was also ripped out, Judge, based on what we see in the four corners of the dims. We haven't done.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people who wear different types of hair.
Sure.
No.
But just going off the dims, we have her hair being ripped out and being stomped. So
And to your question, not hospitalized, Judge.
So here's what I'll do.
Judge, just if I may add, even in the first AFM, Judge, the complainant has gone back to the home at least once, to my knowledge, based on my communications with the complainants on that case. The defendant has gone back to the grandmother's homes, contrary to the bond conditions and the no contact orders in that case. He's repeatedly, time and time again, violated his bond conditions, and now so we would be opposed to anything less than $1,000.
Yeah, I know. So what I was going to, his bond on the first assault it's $1,500. I'll do 2,501 on that. Okay, I'll only raise it at $1,000. On the new case, what do you think? Should we give him a PR bond?
Judge,
No, Judge.
we'd be opposed based on the nature of the allegations where he stomped on someone's head, pulled her hair, and in addition to that being picked up just a month after the previous AFM.
And charged with a misdemeanor. I mean, if the state felt so vigorously about this case, then they would have filed it in district court. I mean, this is a misdemeanor assault between.
I think there's no way this would have been gone upstairs,
I agree. And which is why I think a personal bond could be adequate in light of the fact that he would be given a surety bond on his previous case. He doesn't have much of anything. If anything, that keeps him in jail until we get to trial, because that would be a case that we would set.
All right, Mr. Brooker, I'll set the new one. I'll set it at $500.
Thank you, Judge.
I hope you get it. You're going in today, but I hope you get it. I mean, we're not going to stand for this. You got to pay the piper. And I don't know if it's dealing with the school now will get you to wake up and realize that you can't do what you're doing, but that's it. I've literally bent over backwards not to put you in jail, Mr. Smith, literally bent over backwards. How many chances have we, Yeah, goes with you. Okay, Mr. Smith, good luck.